Hare Krishna. Okay, so welcome all to today's discussion on the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, I hope more people will join in. Otherwise, anyway, we will continue our discussions. Hopefully, nobody is on mute or anything. You can please speak up. We were discussing one of the most important concepts of the Bhagavad Gita, which was, nobody remembers what we did in our last class?
We discussed different characteristics of soul.
Very
This
nice.
from 2.17 2.24.
Very nice, friends. We discussed characteristics of the soul. Yeah, very nice. And what are some of the characteristics of the soul that you remember?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, go ahead.
Soul is indestructible.
Very nice. Indestructible.
Immeasurable.
Immeasurable.
Imperishable.
Imperishable. Very nice.
Insoluble.
Insoluble. Yeah, insoluble. You cannot dissolve it in water. Yeah. What else? Others can help also.
Unchangeable. Everlasting.
Unchangeable, everlasting, eternal. Very nice. What else? So many things we saw.
Sarvam, all of the body, all over the body.
It spreads all over the body as a symptom is that of pain or consciousness. Very good. What else?
Neither burned nor dried, everlasting, present everywhere.
Correct. It cannot be burned, dried. It is everywhere. Sarvagata. Very nice. It is Sarvagata, one of the very important principles, or rather, not principles, or one of the most important characteristics of the soul is that it is Sarvagata. Sarvagata means souls are present everywhere. Wherever we go in the entire universe, you'll see some form of living being or there, or yeah, always. That's the Sarvagata. Very good, very good, very good. And why are we discussing this characteristics of the soul?
Because that's the ultimate truth, which Krishna had kind of given it to the, explained it to the Arjuna.
Okay, good. One of the truths that Krishna explains to Arjuna, yeah, why is he wanting to explain about the soul to Arjuna?
Also to detach from the body. I mean, the
Very
Jivatma
nice.
is so attached to the body.
Very nice, very nice. So
That-
attached to the body, differentiate between. So like Arjuna was so much attached to his extended bodies, and therefore Krishna wants to kind of get him detached from that particular association of the body. Very nice, very nice. What else? What else? Why is Krishna explaining about the soul to Arjuna? Nobody?
Because he doesn't want to fight, and so he is.
Very nice. Very nice. 5 reasons. Yeah. So Arjuna is giving 5 reasons. All of them commence or all of them begin with the assumption that you are the body. So Krishna is actually at the root. He's cutting that doubt from the root itself. What is the root? The root is thinking that I am the body. Now, if you think I am the body, then you have the compassion issue, then you have the loss of enjoyment issue, then you have the what is the other doubt? The sinful fear of sinful reactions issue, destruction of dynasty, my dynasty, my dynasty will have a problem. Yeah. And whatever, indecision, my grandfather, my teacher. So all this me and mine is what is causing Arjuna so much grief. So Krishna is wanting to remove. What is the name given by Arjuna to Krishna so that he could remove his grief or remove his doubts? Anybody? Arjuna calls him by a specific name. As the doubt killer. Huh?
Madhusudana.
Madhusudana, very nice, very nice. Yes, Madhusudana, he calls him. Yeah, Arisudana or Madhusudana is one who is the killer of all the demons, and a doubt is like a demon. So he is calling him, you are the killer of Madhu, killer of the demon Madhu. So just like that, you killed that demon. Please kill my doubts also. So Arjuna is therefore pleading to Krishna, yeah, after giving his 5 reasons to not to fight, and after surrendering himself. We've seen in the second chapter, Krishna is becoming a guru of Arjuna. Very nice. And when he becomes a guru of Arjuna, he is starting to give instructions. And what is the first instruction that he gives? He gives that you are not the body, you are a spirit soul. Yeah, and to explain the characteristics of the spirit soul, he is giving so many things. We saw some of the characteristics you can see on the screen. Here, it's unbreakable, insoluble. You've put all of those: neither born nor died, everlasting, present everywhere, unchangeable, immovable, eternally the same, invisible, inconceivable, immutable. Also, it is sarvagataha. Sarvagataha, as in, is present. Spirit soul is present everywhere: earth, air, water, fire, yeah, and even in the sun planet. So all of those particular places, the sun is sorry, the not the sun, the soul is present. Yeah. Yeah, so that's where that's what we saw in our last aspect, characteristics of the soul. So many other points also. Influence of the soul is that it pervades the entire body. Munduka Upanishad reference was given, like the sun pervades the entire universe and gives life to everything. Same way, the soul is residing inside the body and is giving, yeah, so many giving this particular life to the body. So we saw some other important aspects. It never takes birth nor dies. It's unborn, eternal, everlasting, primeval. It is not slain when the body is slain. So Arjuna is thinking, when I'm going to kill somebody, that he's going to die. But he is not going to die. Only this body is going to die. Yeah, he is going to be remaining always there. So that's the part. His birth, he remains, grows, produces, option, dwindles and dies. Only the body changes. Yeah, the soul is unchangeable. That is what we can see on the left side. So that's what Lord Krishna is making this point, that so the soul is not going to die anywhere. These are the 4 key characteristics Lord Krishna explains in the 20th verse. That is unborn, eternal, everlasting, and primeval. Which means what? Which means only the body is temporary. Yeah, and we are all spirit souls. So this body is going to go away. We're going to get into a new body and start new experience altogether. Yeah, so like that, we keep on doing birth, old age, disease, death, again and again and again, only for the body. Yeah, but for the soul is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. Yeah, he is not slain when the body is slain. He has not come into being, does not come into being. Will not come into being, which means the soul exists always. For the soul, there is neither birth or death at any point of time. Lord Krishna explaining the concept of the soul to Arjuna. Natveva, it begins with Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadipaha. That you or I or all these kings, they will always be there. They will never be ever going away. Yeah. So that's the point of the soul Lord Krishna is explaining. He also gives a very nice analogy that for the soul, death is simply a change of clothes. Just like this shirt, if it becomes old, what do? I throw the shirt away, wear a new one. The same thing for the soul. The soul looks, oh, this body is now become old, all the teeth is broken, all the hair is gone. Yeah, I can't enjoy. So let me leave this body and take a new body so I can enjoy there. So his desires and karma take him to a new body again. Yeah, and again he goes into a womb and again starts this cycle, 6 changes of 6. And he does it in so many different species of life. That's what we saw. Yeah, how it goes from one body to the same analogy as changing the dress. Different different perspectives in terms of nothing can be destroyed, and or the soul cannot be destroyed by anything. He says eternal soul cannot be destroyed by weapons, moistened by water, or withered by the wind, or burned by the fire. So, and the analogy also is given that of from a big fire, sparks are emanating out. Yeah. So the sparks are part and parcel of the fire. Same way, the soul is part and parcel of the super soul or of the Supreme Lord. Yeah. Various this nice flower we saw different characteristics. You've all discussed this. Yeah. And three other aspects: invisible, inconceivable, immutable. People might ask, oh, where is the proof of the soul? No, you cannot. It is invisible. You cannot measure it. You cannot see it. You cannot touch it. You cannot. Why? Because that is us. We can only feel it. Because when this body is gone, or when the person is dead, the body can be seen, but something is not there. What is that something? Uh, the something is that of that the soul is not there. So therefore, that is how, even though it's invisible, you can feel, you can the symptom is present. What is symptom of the soul? Consciousness. The body or the dead matter of the body is alive. Why? Because there is a soul there. Inconceivable, nobody can conceive of the soul. Immutable, nobody can cut, destroy, or do anything to the soul. It cannot be. So that's the aspects. It does not change. It does not. So this is another important point that we saw as on the immutable aspect. Yeah, that the soul is immutable. What does that mean? Srila Prabhupada explains it as 2 points. One is never changes. We all know that. Also, it never becomes God. The small spark, yeah, it does not become a big fire again. Yeah, all it can do is exist as a spark for whatever amount of time, and maybe after a long time it might just get broken away, or it comes back into the fire and becomes part of the fire itself. But it will always, that spark will always remain anu, as compared to the Supreme Lord, who is Vibhu. Yeah. So that's the important aspect of immutability and invisibility and inconceivability. Yeah, that's where we stopped, I think. This is, 26th shloka is what we will start today. But any quick comments or thoughts or doubts on what we've discussed till now? Okay, if not, then let's progress ahead with 2.26, which is further continuation on some little aspects of the soul in a different perspective. Yeah, so let's start 2.26. Yeah, Veena Mataji can read this one.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Excellent.
अत चैनम नित्य जातम नित्यम वा मन्यसे मृतम तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनम शोचि
Shochitum.
तुमर्हसि
Very nice, very nice.
शोचि तुमर्हसि.
Very nice. Translation.
If, however, you think that the soul or the symptoms of life will always be born or die forever, you still have no reason to lament, O mighty armed.
Yes. So Arjuna is called Mahabaho here. Mahabaho as mighty armed. So he's mighty armed means he is acting like many mighty armed people, those who are, very, very strong. They are sometimes little bit mandabuddhi. So Lord Krishna is saying, in that sense, that you are behaving like that mandabuddhi. You are mighty armed. You are very strong, very intelligent. But sometimes you are behaving like, yeah, mandabuddhi. Why? Because even if the soul or the symptom of life is going to get born, or you still have no reason to lament. And why? He's going to explain that further. Yeah. That many times people think there is a class of philosophers who do not believe that there is anything after the death of the body, that once the body is dead, everything is over for that particular person. Yeah, so there is no question of any existence at having afterwards. And there are these class of philosophers called the Buddhists, Lokayatikas and Vaibhashikas. Also, the Buddhists, in fact, believe that there is no separate existence of the soul beyond the body. Yeah? The soul cannot live, it has to live within a body itself. So Srila Prabhupada makes this point that when Lord Krishna spoke, it appears that such philosophers existed, and they were known as Lokayatikas and Vaibhashikas. What are they saying? They're saying that the soul can only be existing in a material body. So basically what they're saying indirectly is, because the body is there, the soul is there. Yeah, so that's what the point that they are making. And Srila Prabhupada makes the point that they think that if I get the body, if I get a perfect body, if I can create a perfect body, then automatically, soul will also come to reside and the body will come to life. However, it's not happened as of now till now. Even though some people might think that, like a test tube baby is a similar thing, but that is not, still in that sense. All they have done is the same chemical reaction, or the reaction which happens within the womb is made outside. Yeah, and an environment is created so the soul can enter. It's not that they've created a perfect body and the body starts without the soul to work. Yeah, so that's the point he makes, that although the body is a combination of physical elements, and at a certain stage life symptoms develop by interaction of physical and chemical elements. And that is what the entire thought process is. And that there is no God required, there is no Atma required, nothing. If I can create a perfect body, it will start to, it will actually have life. That is what that's what the kind of philosophical thinking here is. But here it is actually from a discussion from Arjuna's point of view. If he still believed in this Vaibhashika philosophy, there was no cause of any lamentation. Why? Because if the material body is dying, then big deal. It's you can create one more material body, isn't it? If you join this set of chemicals, yeah, and this set of chemicals is now destroyed, okay, you take another set of chemicals, join it, make one more body. What's the big deal? Why are you lamenting for this so much? Isn't it? So that's the point that Lord Krishna is making, that you cannot stop your duty just because of this particular lamentation. Because you no point of lamenting, you can create another set of chemicals, make one more body. Big deal. Yeah. So that's the point that Srila Prabhupada, or sorry, Lord Krishna is making. He's saying in any case, whether Arjuna accepted the Vedic conclusion that there is an atomic soul, or if he did not believe the existence of the soul, there was no reason to lament. Yeah, Arjuna, what is he thinking? Oh, this body is going to go, this God, how I'm going to enjoy, and all of these five doubts that he had. But if Krishna is making from the very first philosophical point, how all your five doubts are just all your lamentation is just foolishness. Why is it foolishness? If you believe in the soul, then the soul never dies. If you don't believe in the soul and the body is just set of chemicals, okay, then you join your chemicals again and make another body. Yeah, so there is no reason to lament. That is the point that is getting made here. Yeah. Yeah, so Srila Prabhupada makes this point about Mahabahu. He says at the same time Krishna sarcastically addresses Arjuna as Mahabahu, mighty armed, because he at least did not accept the theory of the Vaibhashikas, Vaibhashikas, which leaves aside the Vedic version. So at least is in that sense proper Kshatriya. As a Kshatriya, he belonged to the Vedic culture and behooved him to continue to follow its principles, which means the Vedic principles, which says that you are not the body, you are a spirit soul, and therefore you have to kind of ensure that you execute your set of duties based on either the body or the soul. So that's what here you can see in the picture also. If the body is just a bunch of chemicals, then what is the harm in this bunch of chemicals? You can rejoin them and recreate one more body. Yeah, so even if you reject the soul, there is no cause of lamentation. Why? Because then the body can be made again and again. That is the point here that gets discussed. How the Buddhists, the Lokayatikas or the Vaibhashikas, how their philosophy, even though they think, if you believe in that philosophy, still there was no reason for Arjuna to not to fight. Yeah, that is the point that they're making. Yeah, so that's what here. Life is a combination of matter. That's what the entire philosophy is of this of the Lokayatikas and the Vaibhashikas. Life is a combination of matter. Even the modern scientists feel that. So if it's a combination of matter, it is just matter that is getting destroyed. You can recreate them. So that's the point here that in the 26th verse. Okay, so let's look at therefore now Krishna coming to the conclusion of on the soul concept here in this 27th verse. What does he say here? Okay, let's see 27. Yeah, Ashish Prabhuji can read this.
Hare Krishna. जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युर्ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्माद् परिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि.
Very
One
nice.
who, one who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after that one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament.
Hmm. So he is lamenting because of the birth and death aspect. But Lord Krishna, what is he saying? Whether you believe in the soul, don't believe in the soul, what is for sure? That one who has taken birth is sure to die. So we all, let's all this one prediction that we can make 100%. What is that prediction that we can all make? We are all going to die. May you all live for 100 years, but after that, it is death is sure to come for all of us. Because one who is, Lord Krishna is making this statement. He's saying one who has taken birth is sure to die. And after birth, one is sure to take birth again. So what do you do after death? It's not that you're going to be sitting in some cloud and looking down at everybody. No, you have to take birth again and you have to come again in the cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death, unless you have done something else. Unless you have got liberation or you have got a chance to go out of this material world, then you will not take birth again. But those who are taking, all the normal people, for all those who are not getting liberation, all those who are not getting getting out of this material world, for them, whoever is born will die, whoever has died will take birth again. Yeah, and therefore for Arjuna, if he's going to kill all this, they're going to get rebirth again. What's your problem? Yeah, so why are you lamenting? Their old bodies are going to go away, they're going to get fresh new bodies. So it's good for them, so don't lament. And if you think that no, they are not spirit soul, they are just chemicals, then also they're just chemicals only. Why are you lamenting? So that's the kind of both sides Krishna is playing, and very clearly and making this understand that Arjuna is lamenting unnecessarily. Yeah, yeah, that's what here Srila Prabhupada also makes. One has to take birth according to one's activities of life, and after finishing, one has to take birth for the next one again. Yeah, so this beautiful picture. So what is he is dying, and after death, yeah, he is taking birth again. Prakriti is making sure that you take birth again. So just like there is a death, the symbol of death, there is symbol of birth also. What is this birth doing? It is helping to take birth. This one is helping us to die. This particular entity, whatever that Yamaraj or Yamaduta is. And what happens? You grow again old, you take birth, you again die. This cycle goes on for infinity. You can see this infinity nicely made here. And what happens? It's not necessary that you can take birth only as a human form. You might take birth is any of the sea-based forms, amphibian forms, reptilian forms, or animal forms, or plant forms, or whatever. Different souls can take different bodies in this cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death. Yeah, so that's what is the concept of karmavad. What is karmavad? One has to take birth according to his activities in his past life and die after finishing his term of reactions. So if we see this concept, there is a concept called prarabdha. Prarabdha means whatever karma that you have brought from your big, there is a big store of karma that is called sanchit karma. From that, a little bit has been taken and is now given to us in this life. Yeah. And what is going to happen? We have to execute, we have to complete this prarabdha. Once the prarabdha gets complete, we will die and we will take birth again. Another set of karma will come and sit. And while we are executing our prarabdhas, what we'll do? We'll create more karmas. So right now, while I'm executing my current prarabdha, what is going to happen? I'm creating more and more karmas. So all those activities, what happens? They either get stored in the sanchit karma, or they might, some of them activate, some of the good things that you have done, maybe you will get benefit of that right now, or some of the bad things you have done, you might get suffering for that right now itself. In either case, what happens? The prarabdha continues, and we basically keep on going through the cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death. Yeah. So the point here is about karmavad also is, thus death generates no loss in this natural cause of events. So death is just a transition in that entire set of natural causes. So no point in just unnecessarily lamenting for this body. This body is temporary, is what we understand. But does that mean we kind of go and kill unnecessarily everybody? So unnecessary violence is not encouraged. That's the point here. Srila Prabhupada makes that beautifully in this chapter. In this second. So let's read this second paragraph. Yeah, Ashish Prabhuji can read.
Battle of Kurukshetra being the will of the Supreme was an inevitable event, and to fight for the right cause is the duty of Kshatriya. Why should he be afraid of or aggravated at the death of his relative, since he was discharging his proper duty? He did not deserve to break the law, thereby becoming subjected to the reactions of sinful act, of which he was so afraid. By avoiding the discharge of his proper duty, he would not be able to stop the death of his relative, and he would be degraded due to his selections of the wrong path of action. Hare Krishna.
So if you see, the battle of Kurukshetra was actually not something which was, random. Yeah, it was a proper plan. It was negotiated. They tried till the end to not have the war and not have the violence. But finally, the Lord said, no, nothing doing. This person now has to be punished, and therefore war has to take place. Krishna could have killed them all directly, but no, he gives them a chance equally to everybody, because the Lord is not partial to anyone. Yeah. So the right cause has now come up, and Kshatriyas are there who live for the right cause. So all the Kshatriyas who have assembled there, the 18 Akshahuni armies, they live for this time. So Arjuna, by not fighting, is going to rob them of their duty, basically. He is himself also not going to do his own duty, nor is he going to allow the other people to do their duty, isn't it? So that's what Lord Krishna is saying. Therefore, it's not that we are wantonly killing. We are killing because a proper reason has been established. Yeah, a proper setup has been made, and only then, as a matter of duty, only the Kshatriyas have come to fight. Not that civilians are killed like unnecessarily. Today, if you see extremist violence, they say no, we are in a holy war and we're going to kill. They go and kill unnecessary poor, innocent people. And that is not war. That is not, that can't be called holy in any sense. Yeah. Whereas the war in Kurukshetra, definitely a holy war. Why? Because it was pre-planned. It was, you try to avoid it. No unnecessary people are killed. No kind of, no kind of cheating. Of course, we see now a little bit of cheating did happen. Abhimanyu getting killed in a wrong way. Duryodhana getting killed in an incorrect way, and so many things. But anyway, the point is, it was not unnecessary. It was willed by the Supreme Lord. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. Whatever Lord Krishna, makes a ruling, that becomes the law, that becomes a dharma. Yeah. So here it's very clear he is not Lord Krishna is not supporting unnecessary violence. But as part of the birth, old age, disease, and death, it is going to happen. Death is going to happen. So Arjuna is not doing anything, wrong. He is basically preempting that particular death now as a matter of duty. That is all that he is making the. Yeah. So whoever is going to die, whoever is going to take birth, is going to die. Yeah. So Krishna is explaining this. Yeah, that this is the cycle. Soul takes a new birth at body at birth. It acts on the basis of desire or karma. Yeah, and then death happens. Now, unless and until liberation happens, this cycle will come on again. Based on past desires, whatever the soul deserves, again new birth comes in. Then again he acts based on the karmas and desires that he has, creates new karmas, and goes to die. When he just before dying, he has a chance for liberation. Does he get? If he does not, then it again comes back to taking one more birth. So the cycle keeps on going again and again and again. Yeah. So therefore, two important points here that we can see, that we've also discussed. Cycle of birth and death does not mean one can kill unnecessarily. Violence is required if dharma has to be protected. So only for that reason, violence was undertaken. Otherwise, there was no reason to undertake violence. Yeah, Shamila Mataji had a point. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guruji. Last time, or was it 2 classes ago, you said something. Was it the impersonalists who get moksha? They're sent back as devotees.
Correct.
Something
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah.
But in my question was, if they got liberation by sending back them as devotees, won't they again get back into a karma cycle?
Okay. They're not get sent back. They can stay there forever. Yeah. So I'll show you the picture where they, give me a minute. So if you see our good old picture of the material and spiritual worlds. Okay, it's here. Yeah. So if you just for a minute focus here. Yeah, so this is the material universe. Birth, old age, disease, death, birth, old age, disease, death happens here. Now, some of them want what? They want impersonal liberation. So what happens? They go and merge into the Brahman. Where is the Brahman? This is the Brahman, the white light that is emanating from the spiritual world. This white light that is available all over, yeah, that is called Brahman. This rays you can see. Can you make out? Yeah. Yeah. So this is the Brahmananda. So these souls, they go and stay here. Yeah, in this Brahmananda, as just as if you see the analogy is given that if a stream of sunlight is coming from a very small, hole in the window, yeah, or a slit in the window, you can see in that sunlight, you can see dust particles. We've all seen that? I'm sure we've all seen that. Yeah. So that dust particles is similar. The souls getting liberated, they are here, they are living here. But what is happening? They are only getting sat. They are just getting eternity. Chit and Ananda they are not getting. Yeah. So because the soul is what? Sat Chit Ananda. He wants to realize the Chit and the Ananda aspect also. Yeah. So that is when he decides, no, this doesn't look right. I need to understand it properly. And then he falls, then he comes down. Yeah. When he has that particular thought, he comes down again into this material universe to understand how to go into this particular material spiritual world. That is what the Bhagavatam explains. That the soul is always always very active. But in the Brahma in this particular Brahman realization, what happens? He's just sitting there, not doing anything. He's not doing service. He's got liberation, but he's not doing any service. He's not doing any seva. or he's not executing what his original constitutional position is. And therefore, he is in that sense, he's eternal, but Chit and Ananda are not there. Yeah, and therefore he comes down again into the material world so that he can get a chance to get liberated here. Yeah, that's the understanding. Make sense?
That means he's getting back into the karma cycle again.
Yes, exactly.
Even
He's
after
getting back.
getting liberation.
Exactly. For getting liberation, because the Lord creates this entire material universe. It's explained in the discussions between, when we'll discuss in the Bhagavatam at some point of time, when the Prachetas, they are praying and discussing with the Lord explains this particular concept that the Prachetas basically explain that this material world is created for all these jivas, yeah, to get liberation. This particular is a base. So, for example, if there is a 7-story building which has, say, 3 stories of basement, if you go on the 7th floor and if you want to come out of the building, can you jump from the 7th floor? Maybe you cannot, right? You'll have to come to the ground floor again, and from the ground floor you have to exit out of the building. So this particular universe, this Martyaloka, is of that particular concept. Yeah, that if you want to come out of this particular cycle, you have to come back again into the material world and go through the cycle of birth, old age, disease, death. And of course, you have to utilize the knowledge that you already had of your previous janmas, and therefore such souls, they get birth in in a very pious family or in a very rich family, so that they can continue their journey back home, back to Godhead. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Amal is still confused because I'm thinking then people who pray to Brahman are not getting liberation. They still have to come
Yes,
back.
no, they're getting liberation. They're getting liberation. See, what does liberation mean here? Liberation means no birth, old age, disease, and death, isn't it? Yeah. So you are out of this cycle. So this material world, if this is like a globe, this outside is the Viraja River. Once you're beyond the Viraja River, there is no birth, old age, disease, and death here. Yeah. But are you here? No, you are not here. Yeah, you are not in the spiritual world yet. You are in the part of Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagwan. You are in the Brahman part here. Yeah. So the souls can stay there forever, no problem at all. Yeah, they are
Also, there
liberated.
are
They are in the
different
liberated.
levels for souls.
Yeah, exactly. Everywhere there are souls. Souls are Sarvagata. We just now saw one of the properties of the soul is what? Sarvagata. So they are present everywhere. In the entire universe, they are present. Yeah. So therefore, the Brahman realization is considered to be partial realization. It's not considered to be full realization, actually.
Okay, no, yeah, my confusion is that means if you come back into the
Yeah,
material
that might
world
be your only
again,
birth, no? That might be your only birth. You go through that cycle, just like Jada Bharata. Even though he got the birth of a deer, and next time he gets or Bharat Maharaj, he gets the birth of a deer. But after that, he gets the life of Jada Bharata, and then he knows that what I have to do. And he dies thinking of Lord Krishna at the end, and he gets liberated. So in that billions and billions and billions of lifetimes, 50 years is a blip in time, actually. Isn't it?
yeah, I mean, if they don't
So
have
we
any
think, oh, 50 years, I have to live for 100 years again. Oh my God. But as compared to the billions of years that they're living here in this particular level, Brahma lives for 311 quadrillion years. We've seen that calculation, right? So here, of course, there'll be much more living for this time here is like totally. So in that long period of time, this one lifetime is a blip here. So it's not very huge. But of course, if he gets waylaid again, that is the risk that is there. If he gets waylaid, if he starts thinking of sense gratification, then he might get tied up again into the karma cycle. Then it might take longer. That is the problem. And maybe we were also maybe part of the Brahma Jyoti at some point of time. And we've come down here, and maybe now Lord Krishna has made arrangements so that we can understand.
Okay, it's a
Yeah.
little still confusing, yeah, but I guess we have to just contemplate on that.
Yes, exactly. Manan has to happen.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
Indu
you.
Mataji had a point. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, so those who are merged in this Brahma Jyoti, so they are
Mhm.
sitting over there as a soul or converted in some particles or what
No, no,
exactly?
they're sitting there as soul. Just like, for example, the analogy is given if in the tree, if in a mango tree, green mango tree, a green parrot enters. Can you see
Hmm.
the parrot in that green thing?
No.
You cannot, right? It's merged into the tree. But does it
Hmm.
exist there? It exists there.
Yes.
Same way it is, we are merged here, merged into the Brahman, but we exist as a separate individual soul here.
So they are meditating for the Lord or
They are
what?
meditating on the Brahman form of the Lord, not Krishna form or not any other form, because they don't know that. Brahman, they've got Brahman realization.
So
So they're
Brahman
thinking
is
of Lord only as energy. So there is no
like
Leela, there is no
Omkar
Manan,
form,
there is
some
no. Huh?
Omkar form, something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. So that's what, yeah. So this is that cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death that happens unless, of course, you get liberated. And we'll discuss the intricacies. It's not as simple as these four boxes. There are a lot of intricacies into this understanding of karma and bija and kuta and sanchit karma and so many agami karmas and all of that. Anyway, the point to make here is that the soul undergoes a cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death, and Arjuna need not get unnecessarily lament. He did not lament unnecessarily, and should not stop fighting because of that lamentation. That is the point Lord Krishna is making here. Yeah. Okay. So let's look at. Yeah, so now comes this answer to probably what Shamila Mataji was also asking. Now let's read this one. Yeah, Shamila Mataji can read this.
28.
Yeah.
Okay. अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तनिधनान्येव तत्र का परिदेवना.
Very nice, very nice.
All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So, what need is there for lamentation?
Yeah, so Arjuna's lamentation, how it is still now. If you look at the very, very big picture, in the very big picture, what happens? Created beings are unmanifest. So they're all unmanifest. They are not in any of these bodily forms. There's something called as Pradhan. There's something called as Mahat Tattva. They just everything, all the jivas are clumped together and they are in one place. Where? In the body of Lord Vishnu. And then they become manifested. Means what? There's a nice picture of the manifestation of the jivas from the Lord. So if you see that same picture again, uh, yeah. So here you can see this Mahavishnu is sitting there. Yeah. And from his body, what is happening? These universes are coming out. From his unlimited universes emanate from the pores of his skin. He's called Karanodakshai Vishnu. And what are these? This is the manifestation. This is the process of manifestation. So they're all manifest in the beginning. Then what happens? They become manifest here. And what happens in the manifestation? This material world comes out. Yeah. So that's one of the manifestations. Like that, there are so many different manifestations that come out. All of these are different material manifestations, all in this material world. This entire thing is the material world. This one universe is coming. In that one universe, so many planets, galaxies, everything are there. In that one little Bhuloka is there, one small here, tiny. And in that Bhuloka, we are much more tiny or small beings there who have come in as manifested beings here. Yeah, that's what is being advised by Lord Krishna here in this particular verse. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state. So then they get manifested and then they start doing all of this execution of their karmas, execution of their desires. And then what happens in the end? The entire material universe again compresses and goes back into the body of Lord Vishnu, which means they become unmanifest again when annihilated. So this is the very big picture that Krishna is now making this. Of course, Arjuna is aware of all of these concepts. So for him, when Arjuna is speaking, he doesn't need to know all this picture and how this thing works and how that thing works. He's already aware, and therefore he can comprehend. In either case, Lord Krishna is saying, if you look at the small picture, there is no need for lamentation. If you look at the big picture, then everything is going to get unmanifested and manifest. What are you crying about? That is the point that that Lord Krishna is making. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada makes this particular point, how the universe gets manifested. If you see in the Bhagavatam, there is a fantastic discussion how this entire manifestation happens. We are not going to see in detail, but here Srila Prabhupada makes that how ether, air, fire, everything gets generated from them. The souls come, the senses come, sense objects come, all of those particular things. Srila Prabhupada gives an analogy of a skyscraper. Let's read this analogy. Yeah. So can you read from here, Mataji?
For example, a big skyscraper manifested from the earth. When it is dismantled, the manifestation becomes again unmanifested and remains as atoms in the ultimate stage. The law of conservation of energy remains, but in course of time, things are manifested and unmanifested. That is the difference. Then what cause is there for lamentation either in the stage of manifestation or in unmanifestation?
Okay, hold on. Yeah. So if you see the what was shown, what we had seen in the picture or the understanding, this one universe is getting manifested here as part of that expansion from Lord Vishnu's body. Yeah. So the analogy given by Srila Prabhupada is that of a skyscraper. So if imagine this huge skyscraper has been built. What happened? Was it there in the beginning? No, it wasn't there. It was not existing. What happened to it? It got constructed slowly. It became a very big skyscraper. It lived for some time, and after living, what happens? The skyscraper then falls down, or it is taken down, or it has become very old, unlivable, and therefore it is broken down, isn't it? What happens to it? It becomes unmanifested. So same thing here is what Lord Krishna is also trying to tell Arjuna. That if you look at the very big picture, universes are getting manifested, unmanifested, manifested, unmanifested. So in that entire manifest, your thing is so tiny. What are you worried about? That is why. What are you lamenting about? And that is the point that Lord Krishna is trying to make in this particular verse. And that's how he's saying. So if you see, that's what Srila Prabhupada also makes. What is the cause? What cause is there for lamentation? Either in the stage of manifestation or in unmanifestation. Somehow or the other, even in the unmanifested stage, things are lost. And everything becomes unmanifest, manifest, unmanifest, manifest. Either case, no reason for Arjuna to not fight and do his duty. That is what the point here Lord Krishna is making. There's another fantastic point that Lord Srila Prabhupada makes in for us to understand about the concept of manifestation. Let's read this part. Yeah, Mataji, read ahead. Third paragraph. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
And if we accept the Vedic conclusion as stated in the Bhagavad Gita that these material bodies are perishable in due course of the time, but that the soul is eternal, then we must remember always that the body is like a dress. Therefore, why lament the changing of a dress? The material body has no factual existence in relation to the eternal soul. It is something like a dream. In a dream, we may think of lying in the sky or sitting on a chariot as a king. But when we wake up, we can see that we are neither in the sky nor seated on the chariot.
Okay, hold on. Yeah. So now, if you see, that's what Srila Prabhupada is saying. That material bodies are perishable in due course of time. That we all know. We have already established now that the material body is going to become old and is going to die. Antavatta ime deha. It will come in this particular shloka. But what about the soul? The soul is nityasyokta sharirinaha. It is always eternal. And what is the soul doing? It is just changing bodies. Just like we change our dress, the soul is also changing bodies. And to make this further understand, Srila Prabhupada gives what? He gives an analogy of a dream. That what happens in a dream? We're thinking and I think, oh, I'm being chased by a tiger, and you're in that, you're very scared in that, and you're very much, fully perspiring, and you're running, and but suddenly when you wake up, you find that there is no tiger here. No, there is nothing here. I was just, imagining. So same way, right now we are in this imagination. That's why we are in a matrix, like that movie also says. Yeah, here we are dreaming that we are this body. Oh, I am here living in Dubai. I'm enjoying life, and life is so nice. And I have this. Oh, sometimes I have this problems and that problem. So just like in a dream, sometimes it's a nice dream, sometimes it's a nightmare. Same way, what is happening to us? Sometimes we are having nice time, sometimes we are having a very bad time. So like that. So all that is happening where is happening not at the soul level, nor at the body level, only when the soul thinks that it is the body. That is what is happening to this particular. Yeah. So that's when, so same thing, when we think we are sleeping and we are, dreaming, that is when we are experiencing all those good or bad things. Do they exist in reality? They don't exist in reality. Do they exist? Yes, they exist. Where? In the dream state. Same way this material world exists? Yes, it exists. Is it real? Yes, it is real, but it is temporary. Yeah, it is going to get unmanifested again. So that's the point Lord Krishna is making, that in either case, if you look at the small picture view, if you don't believe the soul, if you look at the big picture view, there is no reason for lamentation. You have to execute your duty without any thought process, is what the point here Lord Krishna is making. That's what Srila was. Whether one believes in the existence of the soul or one does not believe in the existence of the soul, there is no cause for lamentation for loss of the body. What was Arjuna's biggest problem? His biggest problem was, oh, my grandfather is going to die, my teacher is going to die, my brothers are going to die, my brothers' wives are going to cry. Now, all of that thing is what he was worried about. Lord Krishna says those are things which have no relevance in your execution of duty. Because he's now giving only one view, a sole view for this particular concept. Yeah, so if you look at, yeah, that is the soul manifest in the, is not there, manifest, and then it goes down, unmanifest. Same thing for the universe, same thing for everything in relation to material in the material world. That's the point here. Analogy given of a skyscraper we saw in that particular sense, that body, if you are born, you're going to die. So no, don't worry. Don't think you are the killer, because you're not killing the soul. You're just killing the body. That too is not wanton violence. It is a necessary violence because I have said so. Lord Krishna is making that particular statement. Okay, so this nice verse now about almost the conclusion of the soul concept. This is called the amazing verse. Let's see what this amazing verse is. Yeah, Rahul Prabhuji can read this.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Dandavat Prabhu, right? Yeah, go ahead.
Ascharyavat pashyati kaschid ena ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanaiha ascharyavat chainam anyaha shrinoti shrutvapi enam veda nachaiva kaschid.
Very nice, very nice. Translation.
Some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all.
So the amazing verse, that's why it's called. Why? Because the soul is amazing. So why? That is how people look at what is the soul. People don't understand what is this. Oh, who is this living inside the body? Who am I? So they're all very amazed. They're amazed at this particular concept. So some people hear about the soul and they think, oh wow, so soul, some concept is there. But some, they try to realize and understand it. Oh, who am I? If I'm not this body, what am I? How will I be? What will I be if I'm outside of this body? So amazing. They're all looking at this ascharyavat. It's very ascharyavat. It's very amazing. That's what Srila Prabhupada also mentions, that the Katha Upanishad talks about the soul as such a fantastic thing, that in an amoeba also the same soul is there, or the same, yes, not the same soul, but the same soul can take a body of a gigantic elephant. Yeah, and in that also the same soul is there. Isn't it? How is that possible? How does that particular thing happen? And that's what Katha Upanishad mentions. Shravanya bahubiryo na labhyah shrunvatopi bahoyo yam na vidyuhu आश्चर्य वक्ता कुशलोस्य लब्धा आश्चर्य स ज्ञानता ज्ञाता कुशलनाशुशिष्टः. That if you see a gigantic animal, there also this soul is there. A gigantic banyan tree, also it's there. If you look at a microbial germ or billions and billions which occupy a small inch of space, there also all of these souls. So imagine in that small space where there are millions and millions of microbial germs, there are so many souls present there, isn't it? Obviously, people who are unable to comprehend this, they look at the soul as very, ascharyavat. They are very amazed. So that's what Srila Prabhupada says here. Men with poor fund of knowledge and men who are not austere cannot understand the wonders of the individual atomic spark. Yeah, that's how fantastic the soul is, basically. So unless and until we comprehend what the concept of the soul is, for us to get liberation is going to be challenging. We will always be fighting in this material world and trying to make solutions of our material problems, and die in that process, then again take birth, again find new set of material problems to solve. We try to solve that, die again in that process, then again take birth, again we keep doing the same thing again and again and again. Yeah. So what has to be done? We have to understand. That's what Srila Prabhupada makes this point. He says, some people are inclined to hear about the soul, yeah, and maybe attending lectures in good association, but sometimes owing to ignorance, they are misguided by the acceptance of the super soul, and whatever. Yeah, the point is that some people do try to understand the concept of the soul, and still they hear about the soul and they get amazed. Yeah, that's what the understanding here is. So if you look at this, yeah, the soul as amazing. Look, this is a nice. So those who see, they look some look on the soul as amazing. Some people who are amazing look on the soul. Some look on the soul, which is amazing. Looking is amazing. People are amazing. Soul is amazing. So the different ways of all of this way in which this is, analyzed by our acharyas. When about just looking about the soul, about hearing, yeah, hearing about the soul is also amazing. Some people who are amazing hear about the soul. Some hear about the soul, which is amazing. So again, here soul is an amazing concept comes in. Same size of the soul, but amoeba, big elephant, big banyan tree, different types of people. Yeah, so that's why the soul is described as amazing. What is they described as? Because that soul can take multiple forms, multiple levels, multiple understandings of the soul are present in our scriptures. Yeah, so that's what the point here is, that we as the spirit soul, yeah, we basically need to spend time to understand this amazing concept. Yeah, what is the way to understand this amazing concept? Srila Prabhupada mentions the easiest process of understanding the soul is to accept the Bhagavad Gita as it is, read the Bhagavad Gita, follow the prescriptions mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, how do you get the prescription? By the mercy of devotees. Yeah, so when we take to a spiritual master, of course is a fantastic devotee. He by his causeless mercy, gives us this knowledge to understand this, to give us this amazing knowledge. What is the amazing knowledge? That we are spirit souls, and then so many things about the spirit souls that we saw. Yeah. So that's the aspect about the soul. I'll just take a break for 2 minutes, but if there are any questions, you can probably tell me to what we've discussed till now. No, looks like straightforward concept about the soul. Everybody's amazed to what Lord Krishna is telling. So let's go ahead and then read shloka number 30. Yeah, Aruna Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna. Dehi nityam padyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani na tvam sochitu maharshi.
Very nice.
Translation: O descendant of Bharata, O descendant of Bharat, he who dwells in the body can never be slain. Therefore, you need not give grief. You need not grieve for any living beings.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
So now Krishna is like concluding now. Enough discussions. I have told you everything about the soul. And now you understand that one who is dwelling inside the body, the spirit soul who is living inside, he can never be killed. So please remove this thought from your mind that, oh, I'm killing one body, I'm killing one jiva. No, there is no need to grieve for this living being, is the point. For any living being, actually. That's what Lord Krishna is making this point. He says you need not grieve for any living being. Why? Because that living being is enjoying. It's gone into the next, it's died, yeah, and it has gone into a next zone and is enjoying there the new body. If it is not, if it's got liberation, then it is still enjoying because it has got liberated and it has gone into the spiritual world. So what is there to grieve? Isn't it? So that's what the point, even for all of us also, it is applicable, that whatever is going to be born is going to die. Yeah. And there is no need to grieve, yeah, for that particular, and no need to stop your duty. Yeah, because Arjuna, what was Arjuna doing? He is going to stop his duty, he's going to become a beggar, because he does not want, he's thinking, oh, so much of grief is going to happen, so much of killing is going to happen. Yeah. So that's what here Srila Prabhupada also mentions. The Lord now concludes the chapter of instruction on the immutable spirit soul. Yeah. So the spirit soul is going to is basically not going to die at all. That's the point here he's making. Yeah, let's read this paragraph. Mataji, read ahead.
Okay, Prabhuji. The Lord now concludes the chapter of instruction on the immutable spirit soul. In describing the immortal soul in the various ways, Lord Krishna establishes that the soul is immortal and the body is temporary. Therefore, Arjuna as a Kshatriya should not abandon his duty out of fear that his grandfather and teacher, Bhishma and Drona, will die in the battle. On the authority of Sri Krishna, one has to believe that there is a soul different from the material body. Not that there is no such thing as soul, or that living symptoms develop at a certain stage of material maturity resulting from the interaction of chemicals. Through the soul is immortal, violence is not encouraged. But at the time of war, it is not discouraged when there is an actual need for it. That need must be justified in the terms of the sanction of the Lord and not capriciously.
Capriciously, not wanton,
Capriciously.
unnecessary violence. Yeah. So that's the point now. Lord Krishna is like concluding. You are a spirit soul. All these are spirit souls. They're not going to die. So don't worry. You don't have to grieve because they are going to be in a good place even if they die from at this particular point of time. Yeah. So and of course, whose authority? Lord Krishna is saying this. So if you see, Srila Prabhupada makes this point on the authority of Sri Krishna. One has to believe that there is a soul different from the material body. Not that there is no such thing as a soul, or that living symptoms develop at a certain age of material maturity resulting from interaction of chemicals. So it's not that just because the chemicals have come together and therefore the soul has come. No. Yeah, souls exist. Lord Krishna is making that point very clear. If they have taken a body, then the body will die, the soul will go out, take another body, enjoy in that particular body. So there is no need to lament, no need to stop doing your duty, and no need to think, oh, all this violence so bad. Yeah, because this was it was a sanctioned war, it was a sanctioned violence. Like for example, even the doctor, he cuts your body, right? When he's making a operation, that is also violence. But do we say, no, 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 stop it, you'll get pap, you'll get sinful reactions? No. The doctor is basically, the context is different. He's still doing violence, but he's doing the violence to help us. Same way, this particular war is also required. It is violence, but it is required. Coming from whom? Coming from the sanction of the Lord. So therefore, it's not that this war was random, or it was some kind of a terrorist act. It was something which was required in that particular point of time. Yeah. So let's see now. So that's where the concept of the soul is explained from slokas 21 to 30. The next aspect comes in is about executing your duty, as to what happens when you execute your duty. Yeah, that's that's, if you look at this particular ones. Yeah, so you can see violence is necessary. You can see the example of the surgeon or a judge. A judge is also giving awarding capital punishment. That is also violence, isn't it? But does the judge get sinful reactions because of that? No, he does not. Surgeon does not get sinful reactions. So it is that violence is necessary at that particular point of time. Therefore, it is executed. Yeah. So anyway, conclusion is, the soul who dwells in the body can never be slain, and therefore there is no need for any lamentation. That's what the Jnana verse now finishes, Jnana Yoga. The summary, we are in chapter 2, which is like an executive summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita. All these concepts are explained. Now Krishna has explained the concept of Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga, what is the Jnana that he is given? What is the knowledge that he is given? You are not the body, you are a spirit soul. Differences between body and soul is explained. Properties of the body is explained. Properties of the soul is explained. Relationship of the body to the soul is also explained, and it is clearly mentioned that the body is temporary, only coming for a very short period of time. Yeah. That's the conclusion of this particular section, called the Jnana Yoga section of the second chapter. Yeah, Lord Krishna is becoming a guru, and what is the first thing that he's giving? He's giving knowledge. He's giving gyan. To whom? To Arjuna. Yeah. So that's what we see in this, on the slide. Different characteristics. 30 characteristics of the soul. Imagine if we have to now, you have to look at, it's eternal, it does not change, it is indestructible, imperishable, immeasurable, neither slain nor slain, no birth, no death, does not come into being, does not not come into being, does not come into being, will not come into being. So nicely done. Unborn, ever existing, primeval, immutable. It cannot be cut to pieces, or burned by fire, moistened by water, withered by wind, unbreakable, insoluble, neither burned nor dried, everlasting, ever present, unchangeable, immovable, eternally the same, invisible, inconceivable, and it is amazing. Yeah, amazing to look, amazing to hear, amazing to describe. Yeah, so that's so that's what I was, in the beginning of this class I was talking about. I was thinking some of these characteristics you'll remember of the soul, good things to remember definitely for characteristic of the soul, for us to understand this concept of the soul. Yeah. Okay, so now comes next section, but before that, any more comments or thoughts or realizations as relation to soul. I think Rahul Prabhu has put something on the chat. Yeah, amazing that we are mortal. Yes. Another is elephant soul, banyan soul, human soul. Yeah, exactly. We're all souls and servants of the Supreme Lord. Yes, definitely. Very nice. Yeah,
Krishna
amazing
Prabhuji.
soul. Yes. Yeah, Mataji, go ahead.
Prabhuji, we have understand the difference between the body and soul. But in this material world, we are so much attached to the body.
Correct.
Then how we can come out of it?
Yeah, that's why the process is there, right? The process is given of Bhakti Yoga. So basically, that's what the entire, we have to follow the process, and automatically one of the results of the process is detachment. Like, for example, it's like that's why Srila Prabhupada calls this entire process as a, scientific reaction or the scientific process. Why? What happens in a scientific process? You can describe the process, execute the process, and keep repeating the process. Same result will come, isn't it? Say, for example, if I take hydrogen plus oxygen, I mix it in a particular way with a catalyst or whatever, I will get water. Hydrogen is gas, oxygen is also gas, but water is liquid. I'm mixing two gases, still I'm getting liquid. How is it possible? I should have gotten, yeah, isn't it? Yeah. So what is that? That is a natural chemical reaction. So same way, when we follow the process of Bhakti Yoga, you do your japa, you do your devotional service, you read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, you associate with devotees, you eat prasadam, yeah, you do your deity worship. What happens? Then you follow this process, automatically detachment will come. That is how it is. That is what the result of that reaction of that process is basically. Process gives an output, right? This is the devotional process also gives an output. What is that output? Output is detachment to material life. Yeah. And what happens at the time of leaving the body? We are not fully detached. We are detached with everything, and we're only attached to Lord Krishna. So when we leave the body, you don't take birth again. Yeah, so you have to follow the process. Yeah, that is the important part. You can't. So if for example some person is not following the process of he's, instead of hydrogen plus oxygen, is putting something else other than oxygen, will he get water? He will not, right? He will, because he's not followed the process. Same way for us, we have to follow the process that our acharyas have mentioned. If you don't follow the, no, this I don't like, I will not do this. Oh, no, this is boring. Just japa is so boring. I don't like japa. I will not do japa. Will I get liberation? No, I might not get liberation. Why? Because I've changed the process. Yeah. So the process has to be followed. If you follow the process, automatically your output will be there. What is the output that you're looking for? Detachment from the material world. That will happen. Yeah. That's the understanding basically.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, any other comments or thoughts? No? Okay. So let's continue then to the next section, which is called the Karma Kanda section. So if you remember our this PowerPoint which I had shown you, how the second chapter is broken down. Yeah, first is Arjuna's doubts and surrender to Krishna. We saw Arjuna sees his grandfather, he sees his teacher, and he says, "Oh my God, how am I going to? I cannot disrespect them. I cannot even fight with words. Now I'm going to fight with swords. Yeah, it's so problematic. I can't." Then he just, he gets bewildered and he decides not to fight. That's the fifth reason we saw for Arjuna to not fight. Yeah, and he surrenders to Lord Krishna. And when he surrenders to Lord Krishna, what does he say? Please instruct me. So he makes Krishna his guru, and now Krishna as the guru, what is he doing? He is giving him knowledge. Yeah, first thing he gives is Jnana Yoga. What is the Jnana Yoga? He says, you are not the body, there is no death for the soul. The body can anyway not be saved. So even if you think today they will not die, they will die some other day. Yeah, so anyway the body is going to die. So focus on the soul is what the knowledge Lord Krishna gives in the in from 11 to 30. Yeah, that is the verse. That is the verses that we've seen. We've seen two sections now. let's look at section 3 now. Further discussions on karma, law of karma and karma kanda. That is what Lord Krishna is going to focus on in shlokas 31 to 38. So let's see again, like I told you, second chapter is a summary. All these topics are going to be detailed out further as we go in our journey of Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. So as we read ahead, we will see chapter number 3 is called Karma Yoga. Then chapter 4 is called Transcendental Knowledge. Chapter 5 is called Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. Chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga or Buddhi Yoga. So like that, further explanations of all of these topics are given by Lord Krishna. Yeah. So let's look at section 3 now. Let's quickly do an introduction to section 3. We'll not go into much detail. That what is this particular karma kanda about? So you have got your body, yeah, and this body has a set of duties. You have to execute your duties. You have to do your duties, and when you do your duties, what happens? You get reactions. What happens to those reactions? How to manage? What can we do about those? That is what all Lord Krishna explains in this particular chapter. So let's look at shloka number 31. Okay, where Krishna moves ahead. Yeah, Sonal Mataji can read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, go ahead.
Swadharmam api
Chavekshya.
kavekshya chavekshya na vikampitum arhasi dharmad di yudak cheryo nyat
Very nice.
kshatriya na vidyate. Sorry,
Kshatriyasya.
my pronunciation is
No
bad.
problem, no problem. It's fine. Kshatriyasya
Kshatriyasya na vidyate.
vidyate. Very nice, very nice. Translation.
Considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles, and so there is no need for hesitation.
Yes. So now Krishna is moving gears. He explained that through the concept of the soul that you should not, don't hesitate to fight or don't keep lamenting. Now he's taking a separate track. He's now talking about duty here. He's saying, Arjuna, your duty, you are as a Kshatriya, what you have to do, you have to fight. Yeah. So you should not hesitate at all. You remember your duty and execute your duty. Why? Because you are a Kshatriya. What does a Kshatriya has to do? Kshatriya, Srila Prabhupada explains, Kshat means hurt. Trayate means one who gives protection. So one who protects from hurt is called a Kshatriya. Yeah, that's what the point here is. Kshat means hurt. One who gives protection from harm is called Kshatriya. Trayate is to give protection. And therefore, what are the Kshatriyas? They are trained for doing this protection from hurt. And that's their job as part of administration, as part of fighting, as part of, protecting. All of these particular set of duties are given to a Kshatriya in our Varnashrama system. So Varnashrama, 4 Varnas. Who remembers 4 Varnas?
Brahmana, Kshatriya,
Brahmana,
Vaishya, and
Kshatriya,
Shudra.
Vaishya and Shudra. Very nice. And 4 ashramas?
Brahmacharya, Grahastha,
Brahmacharya.
Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa.
Very nice. Yeah, so if you remember this, where is that on our sorry, just give me a minute. I want to our table of Varna and Ashrama, where is it gone? Yeah, here it is. Sorry, just give me a minute. I think I closed it. Here it is. Okay. Yeah. So if you remember, yeah, this is what we had focused on that day. Not in this class, in another class, but yeah, Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Brahmana, 4 Varnas, 4 ashramas, Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasi. And if you see, if you put them in 2 axes, you will get 16 boxes, 16 grids. Each of them basically, so there is a Brahmana, Brahmachari, a Kshatriya, Brahmachari, a Vaishya, Brahmachari, a Shudra, Brahmachari. Everyone has their set of duties. Yeah. So Kshatriya, when he is Brahmachari, he is to be trained in all the fighting arts and all of them. When Kshatriya is a Grahastha, he is taking up a job as as an administrator, and he gives up various, he does executes his job as a protector, as a specific he does his duty of protection. So like that. So in our Varnashrama system, every Varna has a specific duty. Yeah. Kshatriyas, what is their duty? There, let's focus on this one. They are trained to give protection. That's their job. Srila Prabhupada makes this example of how they are trained. They're trained by fighting with tigers in the forest. They are set to the forest to get their training done in proper way and all of that. Point is that they are trained in violence. They are trained in violence. Why? Because sometimes you have to use violence for protection. Yeah. So Srila makes that point. Non-violence in politics may be a diplomacy, but it is never a factor of a principle. So non-violence is a nonsense kind of a concept. Now it's good to discuss and talk, but at many times violence is necessary. Yeah, like a surgeon also has to do violence. Surgeon cannot say, I'm going to be non-violent. It doesn't make sense, right? Surgeon being non-violent. Yeah. So like this, so non-violence, violence is a necessity, and therefore there are certain class of people who are trained in that particular violence so that they don't use it unnecessarily. They have to be trained in how to use it. They have to be trained in to become expert. They have to be trained in to discriminate when to use and when not to use, isn't it? Yeah, so like that. So that training is done, of course, nowadays. Kshatriyas as a class of people only exist in corporate world as administrators. They are not trained in, maybe they are trained as MBAs and all of that. So they are trained in executing good administration, but maybe they're not trained in fighting or giving, using violence. But the point here is they're still given training. Yeah, so religious law books are there. Srila Prabhupada mentions, he refers to this religious law book. In the religious law books, it is stated, let's see what is it stated. Yeah, Mataji, sorry, who was reading? Sonal Mataji, can you read this?
Yeah. Yeah. In the battlefield, a king or Kshatriya, while fighting another king, envious of him, is eligible for achieving the heavenly planets after death. As the Brahmanas also attain the heavenly planets by sacrificing animals in the sacrificial fire. Therefore, killing on the battlefield on religious principles and killing animals in the sacrificial fire are not at all considered to be acts of violence, because everyone is benefited by the religious principles involved. The animal sacrificed gets a human life immediately without undergoing the gradual evolutionary process from one form to another. And the Kshatriyas killed on the battlefield also attain the heavenly planets, as do the Brahmanas who attain them by offering sacrifice.
Yeah. So now a fantastic point here is being made that even though you're trained in violence, yeah, Brahmana also gets trained in violence so that he can execute proper fire sacrifices. Yeah, in either case, they are trained in violence, but not that this particular violence is unbeneficial. It is beneficial for everybody. What happens to the animal which is sacrificed? It gets a human form of life. It does not have to undergo the cycle of, the evolutionary cycle from one species to the next species to the next species to the next, and then come to the human form of life. Same thing is going to happen to the Kshatriyas also. The Kshatriyas who are going to get killed in battle by doing their duty, what is going to happen to them? They are going to get benefited because of that particular violence. That is what Lord Krishna is establishing in this particular. That when you do your duty, whatever is our duty, now we are, as our duty, we are grahasthas, we are Shudra grahasthas, we have to do, take care of the family, we have to take care of the house, of the altar, of all of this. So when we do that particular set of duties, we are going to get benefited when we do those duties as sacrifices. Now, that is what the point Krishna is going to go towards. But the point that Lord Krishna is making is that karma kanda or karmic actions that you execute as part of your duty are beneficial for you. You get good karma by executing your duties. That is what Lord Krishna is making this point. And therefore, Arjuna should not get any hesitation in executing his set of duties of fighting the war. That is the point that he's making. We'll see. We've not finished this particular chapter yet. This particular shloka yet. There's an important consideration of the two kinds of dharmas that we have. Swadharma and Varnashram Dharma, which we will discuss in our next class. Today we are already out of time, 5:36. Any quick comments or thoughts before we close? Okay, if not, then let's close for today, and we will meet to discuss Karma Yoga in our next class. Hare Krishna. एकम शास्त्रम देवकी पुत्र गीतम एको देवो देवकी पुत्र एव एको मंत्रः तस्य नामानि यानि कर्मापि एकम तस्य देवस्य सेवा त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरे परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कात्यायनी महामाये महायोगिन्यधीश्वरी नन्दगोपसुतं देवी पतिं मे कुरुते नमः श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम दासोऽहं कृष्णतवास्मि श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम दासोऽहं कृष्णतवास्मि श्रीकृष्णः शरणं मम दासोऽहं कृष्णतवास्मि हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता पाठ की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्णा। बाय
Happy
बाय।
Guru Purnima Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्णा। हैप्पी गुरु पूर्णिमा टू यू टू। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna Guruji, thank you. Happy Guru Purnima.
हरे कृष्णा। थैंक यू।
Krishna. Happy Guru Purnima.
हरे कृष्णा। सचिन प्रभु जी, हाउ आर यू?